Some ethically troubling statistics from recent studies on gambling. The research shows that in Canada, between 25% and 50% of gambling revenue comes from problem gamblers, and some of the highest numbers are right here in Alberta. University of Lethbridge researcher Dr. Robert Williams says some of the jurisdictions have taken steps to prevent and reduce gambling addictions, but those measures aren't being implemented in Alberta yet. Terry Vogt reports.
Pulling a $20 bill out of his wallet, Dr. Robert Williams demonstrates how quickly your money can be swallowed up by a VLT machine. Each one of these machines brings in about $150,000 a year, and the lion's share, around 85%, goes to bolster government revenues, helping to pay for health care, education, and other services. But few people ask where the money comes from.
And one of the disturbing statistics from my point of view is that roughly 25% to 50% of all gambling revenue comes from problem gamblers.
Alberta has about 75,000 problem gamblers, those who can't control their urge to the point where it's causing stress on finances, mental health, or relationships. They're part of the 5 to 8% of the population that accounts for 75% of the revenue the government generates through gambling.
People lose their houses, people lose their life savings, and they can do it in a relatively short period of time. If, in fact, half of all the money is coming from addicts, that would be a problematic statistic for a private business, but it's especially problematic for government, whose purpose is to serve the people as opposed to exploit the people.
Many jurisdictions in Europe have established policies or safeguards to identify risky behavior and try and intervene before gambling becomes an addiction or leads to serious problems. Dr. Williams says the Alberta government aspires to reduce the number of problem gamblers, but he's concerned that may be more difficult in light of tight economic times.
You're going to take a revenue hit if you're going to do anything to effectively reduce the prevalence of problem gambling, and in lean economic times, that's a hard sell to governments.
Dr. Williams says the province does have pretty good resources for treating addicts, but he says while treatment is helpful, efforts need to be put in at the front end to prevent the addiction in the first place. Terry Vogt, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Many jurisdictions require people to provide an ID before entering a casino. That helps casinos enforce self-exclusion policies for people who recognize they have a gambling problem. Now in Sweden, they've implemented the use of player cards to track gambling patterns and the frequency of play. Those cards are used to alert people when they've reached gambling levels that they consider risky.